girlfriend, wanted to have an open relationship. I broke up with her, now she has gone insane. My girlfriend and I have been together since January of 2011. I always took pride in the fact that we were the couple that could solve things without fighting. We are both pretty mature people, and the disagreements we have had throughout our relationship have been taken care of. Now here comes the situation at hand. My girlfriend works in a job where it's basically her, a bunch of women, and this one guy. This one guy that works there is a real ladies' man type guy, and my girlfriend is enamored by this guy. Nothing new here, I get it, we have been in a relationship for a long time, and lusting after something new isn't bad. However, my girlfriend started pushing more than that. She basically started asking me, what if I was to have a three-way with you, if I was to sleep with another guy? She started pushing more and more, about things we should do before we tie the knot, and become boring old people. Then she started saying that I worked out so much, and look so much better now than when I first got with her, now was my chance to get some more action etc. And she started really pushing this idea of an open relationship. I realized that her crush was something far more than that, and I didn't need her in my life. There were some complaints I had about the relationship, and now was my chance to find someone new that didn't have those faults. So, I simply told her that this isn't something I want to do anymore, and that I think we should see new people. I don't think it sunk into her until like the day after, when I deleted her off social media. Then she legitimately snapped. She forced herself into my apartments, roommates were there, and just sat there crying. She ended up buying me some really expensive shirts, $300 plus, for me, to show me her love. And in general, she is going crazy. She has taken sick from her work. I don't have any desire for getting back together with her. I know a lot of people will say I am bad for giving up on a relationship after so many years, but the thing was, I cared about her. But when she started talking about her lust towards the other guy, it basically killed my feelings towards her. And honestly, I am at a point in my life where I am happy with how things are with just me. I know I am an awesome person, and I don't need to convince anyone to stay. The thing is, I don't know what to do about her. She is legitimately freaking everyone out with her behavior. The thing which really worries me, is that she knows the password to a lot of my important things, since I use basically the same 3 passwords. I have gone out to change a lot of them, but I am scared she can screw me over. Now for the top advice before reading the update. What do you want to hear? Change your password soon, and enjoy your life. Tell your roommates to not let her inside anymore. Call the coppers if you need to. She was pushing to be given permission to sleep with other people while still holding on to you. You dropped her, now she's gone insane. Not your problem. You made the right call. Get those passwords changed and move on to a better woman. But bonobo monkeys are polyamorous, so humans are supposed to be too. Being jealous and possessive of your partner just means you're insecure and immature, right? I mean, that's what I keep hearing on Reddit anyway. My significant other and I do not form crushes on people. He has basically said, if you ever desire someone more than just diddling to the idea of them, you can freaking go. I read a lot about adult crushes but, yeah, not everyone has him. I've been with my significant other a little bit longer than you and hot guys do not faze me. My significant other is my crush. I pleasure myself to hot people, I don't have crushes on them or lust after them. It's not acceptable in every relationship. And now for the update. Hey guys, so I wanted to update you all on the current situation. After posting, I went ham trying to remember every important account I use, and was able to change the passwords. So, the good thing now is, I got a bunch of unique passwords. Now with my ex-girlfriend, things took a different turn. I called her sister to get her to take back the shirts my girlfriend bought me. Well, turns out, the company she ordered from doesn't do returns. The shirts were nice, so I decided to keep them, and just give her sister the money to give to her. While we were arranging things, her sister talked to me about the relationship. She said that she wants me to know that my girlfriend in every way was dedicated to me, that she envisioned me as the guy she was going to have kids with, grow old with, and that the guy from work was nothing to her. I told her that I get that, but after the whole situation my opinion of her changed, and my attraction and love towards her went away. And boom, her sister went crazy on me too, saying that I am a freaking pig that wasted her sister's pretty years, and I never had the intention of manning up and marrying her. After that, I basically decided to go zero contact with my ex, her family, and her friends. I was constantly getting messages, even had my ex-girlfriend show up at my apartment just to make sure I was alive. I went to a bar I like to go to often with two of my guy friends. I was talking to some girl, and seriously out of nowhere, my ex and her friends found us. She started crying, saying that I was cheating on her, that we aren't officially broken up yet. Her friends kept on telling me to give her a chance. The whole thing got really uncomfortable. She said if we did the whole open thing, only if I wanted to, she would have let me screw her friends, have 3 ways, pointed out a friend of hers that always found me hot, saying I could have her. I told her that it's a lot for me, and I need time to think things through. I just said that to get out of the situation. I ended up finding out that she found out where I went, cause one of my guy friends invited my girlfriend's friend who he thought was interested in her. So that's the situation. For what it is worth, I did end up getting laid after the breakup, but it was through a girl off Tinder. Ex found out about this. So that's my situation right now. The big problem with the breakup was the fact that we were together for so long, so our friend groups meshed and all. Not really sure how to handle her popping up in my life. Now for some top comments. Not really sure how to handle her popping up in my life. Tell her to stop contacting you and to stop bothering you. Tell the people around you that you don't want her invited to places you are at, or for them to notify you if she'll be there. You've made your decision to end things, and she should respect that. She sounds really insecure and also somewhat immature. Like, what did she expect out of all of this? She expected to bang her crush and have OP be okay with it. How dare OP have a backbone and not put up with her nonsense? This sounds like a job for policeman and his amazing sidekick, restraining order. Using their amazing powers of, stay away from me, you nut, they fight for truth, justice, and the I just want a quiet night out, so get out of my way. Yeah, if this continues happening, this should be heavily considered by OP. He should get some evidence from any future run-ins with her to support his case. Wow. I don't understand how she could think that telling you the benefits of agreeing to the open relationship, the thing that caused you to end things with her, was somehow going to win you back. Make it very clear you guys are over, and that she can't win you back. Tell her not to contact you anymore, and tell all your friends not to give her or her friends updates on you. Oh, the new relationship she proposed would be, I could bang girls while she would be faithful to me. Now for the last story. Updated, girlfriend, 31 female, wanted an open relationship. I, 34 male, reluctantly agreed. She freaked out now that I am sleeping with other women. About 4 months ago, my girlfriend of 6 years brought up having an open relationship. At first, I said no, and was incredibly angry that she would even ask that of me. The thought of my girlfriend sleeping with other guys made me livid, so did the idea that she felt I wasn't giving her what she needs. After a few days, she brought it up again, and I reluctantly agreed to the arrangement. I decided to go ahead with it because I wanted her to be happy, and not end up cheating behind my back. I do love her, and realize that relationships consist of compromises and finding middle grounds. I told her we could have an open relationship, but I don't want her telling me about other guys or where she is going when she does it. That she just needs to play it safe because I don't want any STDs. Anyhow, about a month into the new arrangement, I realized she was meeting up with some guy for intercourse. I was pissed at first, but decided to start taking advantage of my newfound freedom as well. There is no point in me sulking and being angry. I started getting on dating apps, and talking to new women and going out on dates. I too, started sleeping with other women. I currently have 3 FWBs that I see fairly regularly. Anyhow, one of the FWBs likes sending me a bunch of nude selfies. She also likes taking videos of us doing it and sometimes sends me the videos. My girlfriend snooped my phone earlier and went ballistic. She asked me how many women am I seeing and why I'm participating in X videos. After yelling at me for a while, she has been stuck in the bedroom sobbing and doesn't want to be around me. I am puzzled and really not sure what to do or even why she reacted the way she did, considering she proposed this type of relationship. I am not sure how to proceed or even what to say to her. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Pikachu face. She didn't want an open relationship, bro. She wanted to F the dude she was effing. And she likely didn't expect you to be as successful, or at all, in your escapades. She thought likely you won't find anyone and she'll get to have her cake and eat it too. Now the truth has dawned on her. She made her bed. Good on you for standing up for yourself this time, OP. I'm glad you told her what you did. She needs to know she caused this. I wish you the best of luck, my friend. Be happy. Just break up with her already. This It's obvious she wanted to screw another guy she had her eye on. She didn't want to lose dude over it cause he's reliable and safe. Dumbass played herself. She just wanted an excuse to sleep with other guys without feeling guilty, and having it classified as cheating. This was never about you and your relationship. It was about her. Fixed it for you. I bet any money she has the guy lined up and that's why she wanted it. Now for the little updates. I want to thank everyone for their input. I am at work now and will try to read and reply to some of the responses. My girlfriend and I didn't talk at all last night, but she did say she wanted to talk this morning right before I was leaving for work. I told her we would talk tonight after work. Edit 2. Things didn't really go too well last night. We spoke about a number of things. She said that she was shocked to see that I was seeing so many women, and that she thought I was taking the open relationship thing too far. We never discussed how many partners was acceptable, and she thought it would just be one partner on the side. She also said some of the texts she saw hurt her, because she thought they crossed a line. She said the open relationship is a mistake, and she wants to go back to a monogamous relationship. I told her it is too late for that. She already has involved people outside of our relationship into this mess, and that I am not going to hurt others by breaking off my relationships with them, because she didn't have the foresight to realize other people would be affected by her choices. I told her I think she has been acting selfishly throughout this whole situation, and that it has changed my perception of her as a person. I told her that she hurt me by proposing this open relationship, but I accepted it to try to make her happy. I told her, while I initially didn't want to be in an open relationship, I am actually enjoying being with other partners. I told her I love her, but I believe this relationship has been damaged beyond repair and I am not going to stop seeing others. I put her needs before my own before, but I no longer have the desire to do that anymore. After reading comments on here and reflecting on the entire situation, I believe it is best that we part ways. So I told her I am moving out and ending the relationship. I told her she can stay in the apartment until the lease is up, but I am moving out as soon as I find a new apartment. Now for closing comments. How did she react to the breakup? Did she try to convince you to change your mind? She didn't take it too well. She cried a bit at first, and tried to convince me that we could work things out. After she realized I wasn't changing my mind, she started yelling and getting aggressive. I was concerned that it could escalate into something physical by the way she was acting, so I left. I've been staying at a friend's place and she has been blowing up my phone the entire time. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone. Me and fiancé are in the process of calling a halt to our wedding, as she has asked for an open relationship. Alright folks, where to start? This one is tough to type and the paws are shaking as I'm doing it. As it says in the title, me and my fiancé, ex, are 34 and 27 respectively, have been together for nearly 4 years overall, and are a year engaged. I'll be totally honest here, just before we got engaged, she had an emotional affair with a bloke that she worked with. I only found out because one of her friend's boyfriend contacted me, and said that he overheard the friend group discussing it. I confronted her at the time, and after a good bit of arguing and hassle, we came to an agreement to let it go. I'll be totally honest in saying, that I'm still slightly in the process of getting over that particular incident, and it discolored my view of her. I manned up, moved on and proposed, which I had planned on doing anyway. This is just to give an overall context here, and indeed to let it be known that there has been issues in the past. Fast forward to recent time. We are due married in November, traveling abroad for it with family, and back around October, she started acting a bit odd. Distant, not herself, away with the fairies. Even stopped having sex, which was very strange. I put it down to stress around organizing the wedding, and the fact that we had moved flat. Forward to Christmas time, and now things are coming to a head. I confronted her straight up, and she said out that she was sorry, has just been stressed. I was very considerate, and tried to help her through it. However, it basically continued on ebbing and flowing throughout the next 2 months, up to yesterday. I arrived in from work last night, and she says that she wants to talk. The vibe was bad, guys, I could tell. We sat down and she said out that she had been reading, and that she wasn't having second thoughts about the marriage, but the nature of our relationship. At this rate I was getting a bit agitated, and demanded that she come out with what the bloody hell she meant. Basically, A few of her friends had back in October, the times matched up, conveyed to her the idea of an open relationship. Basically, they stay with their blokes and have one-night stands on nights out if they fancy. I'll be honest, the idea made me ill. I said this to her, and she asked to be heard out. Pulled out some online blog post by a blogger who had a husband and live-in boyfriend. I got halfway through and told her enough of this nonsense. I wouldn't consider myself old-fashioned, but a wife or fiancé bonking other men will never be in fashion, not in my world anyway. We got into a fight, and in the end, she was begging me to give it a chance, and that nothing is set in stone. I basically said that I needed some headspace, and that I'd spend the weekend at my mate's. It was quick after that, and I left without a fuss. I'm typing this on my mate's laptop, and am in a bad mental state at the moment. I am seriously considering calling the whole thing off, both relationship and wedding. I suppose if anyone has been in a similar place, I could do with some advice. Now for the top advice before the update. This is a deal breaker. You don't want an open relationship and she does. There is no in between. Don't marry her. If she wants multiple relationships, she'll seek them extramaritally anyway. Don't allow yourself that level of hurt when you can see it coming. This, especially considering her history of cheating on you before, and now distancing herself, it's extremely fishy. Plus, she has apparently not even have the intention to let you sleep with other people. It sounds to me like she has already cheated, and is trying to have you retroactively validate it. If she is saying all this before the wedding, I'd halt the wedding in my opinion. The last thing you want, is for all this to blow up after you have legally tied yourself up. Yes, I also can help but feel she already cheated, and now just wants OP's permission to continue. It's the acting different, not wanting intimacy etc. I would be very, very suspicious. Sounds like she already opened up the relationship, she just didn't wait for you to okay it. Yeah, it sounds like she had more than just an emotional affair with that bloke from work. No one reads a blog online, and decides they want to completely change the nature of their relationship. She was looking for validation of her own feelings/actions. And now for the update. Hello everyone, I said that I'd post an update, in large part due to the massive response I got yesterday. In many ways, I was only posting to repeat the situation in my head, but I found many great pieces of advice in there and support as well. Thanks to everyone who posted. I spent last night at my mate's, who was absolutely sound about the situation. He basically gave advice that was tantamount to what was given in the comments, to call off the relationship. We had a few drinks, a bit of banter, and this morning I went back to the flat and confronted her. She was there, neither I nor her work on Saturdays, and I set out my stake, in as straightforward a manner I could. Basically, I said that I didn't want to continue with the relationship, and that it's better if we call the whole thing off. The wedding details are merely financial, and not too bad to call back, but at this rate we couldn't continue to be together as we clearly desired different things. She basically expressed what she felt then, that we still had a chance, that it could work, to give actual freedom a chance. Look, I'm no crazy prude, but this crap just isn't up my alley at all. I basically said that over the weekend, I'd be over to collect my things, it's rented flat in a town, no big obligation there, and that she can keep the place if she wants. I'll stay with my friend for a while, get myself sorted after. Towards the end, we had a full-blown shouting argument, but I stood my ground and didn't change my course. Not this time, boys and girls. I left, and there is nothing much more to say really. As I type, me and my mate are having a few cans, and my phone has been exploding since 5 o'clock with her friends, her sister calling me a prick and a sexist, for some reason. I'll be grand, being totally frank, I feel a bit liberated, if that's not too cheesy. The coming days I'll get everything sorted, the moving and that, but as my father used to say, there's always freaking worse. Now for some comments. I doubt she is telling the truth about why you broke up, so don't be alarmed by her friends and family attacking you. All you did was avoid the future divorce when you caught her cheating on you, or she dumped you for some other guy. Exactly, tell her sister that you don't want to share your wife, and she is for some reason insists that she wants lots of men. I would make it simpler and completely honest if confronted, I wasn't willing to commit to an open relationship. Let her sister and friends and family sort out what that means. Standard response, ex-fiancé has decided that she wanted an open marriage. Due to moral dilemmas as a monogamous man, I couldn't continue this engagement. Please direct your questions and statements back to said ex-fiancé, thanks. Someone up thread said to tell people this. She wanted an open relationship while I did not. That's shorter, and I think an even better thing to tell her friends/family. Just saying that and nothing more, makes it very plain, simple, and understandable. Even people who like open relationships can read that, and understand where the guy is coming from. Nice job, Neo, you sure dodged that bullet. The next story is titled, I suggested an open relationship, and I think I just ruined my relationship. A little background, I am a 32-year-old woman and my boyfriend is 29 turning 30. We have been together for 10 years. I love him very much, and we have always wanted to have a bright future together. We have little fights here and there, but we always get over and solve them. We have a good intimate life and we love to spend time together. We have both started to meet new people, a lot of new people. I met another guy who was very friendly and kind towards me, and we are good friends. We just hang out as friends, and the other day, he was talking to me about my relationship with my boyfriend, and he asked me about my opinion on open relationships. I never really thought about it, so I really didn't say much. I talked with my boyfriend about it and he was not happy about the idea. I wouldn't want my boyfriend getting bored of just having me as an intimate partner, and I don't want to get bored having the same intimate partner forever either. He asked me if I met another man, which I told him no. He then told me if I wasn't happy with him, that I should tell him, and he would just set me free so I can be happy. This hurt me so much. My update 1, he told me to go run off with my friend and he left. I don't want to lose him, I have been with him so long and I really love him. Sounds like he's not bored of sleeping with only you. It sounds like you're bored of sleeping with only him. He has every right to be upset. He doesn't seem like he wants an open relationship. You may have ruined it, or he'll get over it. Don't expect to ever have an open thing with him though. You messed up. Friendly kind guy was fishing for action with you, he wants to bang you, and he planted the idea in your head. You should be a little wary of him and now you damaged your relationship because your boyfriend could smell this other guy's influence on you. Newsflash, your friend would sleep with you given the chance. Apologize to your boyfriend. Be honest with him that you only brought it up out of curiosity because of this other guy. Make sure you tell your boyfriend you were not asking him to open your relationship, but just thinking about the distant future, and not interested in any other guy intimately. Damage control OP. My fiancée of 6 years did exactly this. She allowed some guy to sweet talk her, and convince her that an open relationship would allow her to sleep with whoever, guilt-free. She decided to bring it up to me. I'll never look at her the same again, and needless to say we are no longer engaged. As someone with experience in being on the receiving end of this convo, I would start preparing for the worst, and hoping for the best. He already dumped me today. Honestly? Good for him. He gave you 10 years of his life, and you reward him by asking to sleep with other people? Now you either learn from it, or don't. I hope things get better for the both of you. You still have your whole life to look forward to. As the ex, I do agree with him. I messed up, you messed up, but now you can learn from it like I'm trying to. Wait, for real? Dude took you back after that? Sort of. Not really. He keeps me around, LOL. Now for the last story. Insecure GF caught flirting. Where to begin? Girlfriend has previously accused me of not seeing obvious red flags with other women. Friends, coworkers, acquaintances. Even being in the same room as one of these people is a problem for her, which has resulted in my not going out to company functions and cutting off entire circles of friends where the person is a part of. Fine. I love her. I understand that these people are chapters in my life that may not be around later, so it's not that big of a deal, even though I've lost sleep over it. Girlfriend's friend introduces her to some new people. One of these she immediately clicks with, and ends up on the phone until 6 a.m. While I can only hear one side of the conversation, this guy has asked her numerous questions about her relationship and actual history, which she obliged in answers. Some of these stories I've never heard before. Call it insecurity, but I've never asked a woman if she's had a one-night stand or what her kinks were. I asked her about it afterwards, making reference to the situations she's put me in the past, and her immediate response was to accuse me of being controlling and scaring her. What? A few days roll by, and she's continued these talks with this person. We've had our arguments and came to an understanding of, if he does or says anything that crosses a line, she will end the friendship. But where is the line? He's already had her describe herself. Explain past relationships. Ex talking favorite kings. Talking until hours in the morning. Where's the freaking line? I told her that her friendship with this person is literally destroying me, and she assures me I have nothing to worry about. Well, I just looked at her phone. And while I wish I didn't, I'm glad I can see with my own eyes that she lied to my freaking face. They've been flirting. The questions via text were 10 times worse. And her friend that introduced them encourages this, telling her how she keeps her relationship from her significant other. But what's worse for me is that, she had the freaking nerve to tell this guy that I'm being insecure, and allow him to chime in that I'm creating disorder. Then shortly asking her if she would date him if possible. And her saying yes. Not even 2 full days into 2019 and I'm about to break up with my girlfriend over a dude she met online not even 3 days ago. Username checks out. Do I ask for advice now, or am I on the right track? I need clarity. Thank you for making it this far. Now for the top advice. This girl will cause you nothing but pain as she is now. She is the ultimate hypocrite. Dump her and don't look back. Run. Call me crazy, but I think your 2019 started off tremendously. Imagine spending years with this girl. Imagine marrying her. Imagine combining your finances with her. Imagine having children with her. She's a cheater, and this is simply the first time that you caught her cheating. She's been the cheating type this entire time, and that's why she was trying to remove all women from your life. She was afraid you would behave the way she does. Good riddance. Oh, what a positive way to look at this situation. Thumbs up to you, mate. Get ready for full-blown crazy when you break up with her. I'd leave a note and just disappear and never look back. I politely disagree. I experienced a situation similar to OP's. My jealous girlfriend's new BFF enabled and encouraged her to start flirting with some guy in her class. Within a few weeks, she started ghosting me. OP's girlfriend has moved on. The only reason she's calling him insecure is to justify her past behavior. She sounds like a narcissist. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone. My parents choose their new families over me, so I moved in with my aunt. Now they want back in. But I hate them. So I, 16 female, moved in with my aunt at 15, because my parents remarried and had new families. My father married his mistress who already had a son, and now they have a baby daughter. My mom remarried my stepdad, and they had my half-sister. After all that, I became a secondary character in their lives and they looked forward to ship me off to the other home, so they could pretend that I didn't exist and play happy family. After a year, I became fed up and started sleeping over more and more at other houses, and when at their homes I would never interact with anyone. Both my parents took that as a rebellious phase and would fight with me all the time. I wasn't a bad kid or a troublemaker, but soon, I was labeled as the black sheep of the family. Every interaction with my parents became a lecture about my attitude problem, and how well the other kids behaved. I was just so fed up that I packed my things and disappeared for a few days. I took a bus and went MIA for 4 days. Of course the police was called, and when I appeared again, I got hit another lecture. We got in a screaming match where they called me a disappointment, and I told them I hated them. I called my aunt crying and she came to fetch me. In the car, I could hear how she was tearing my parents a new one. Neither of them tried to convince me of coming back home. We informed the respective authorities about my changed living condition, and my aunt is my current guardian. My parents were half-baked with our contacts. Appearing only when it was convenient, sometimes giving me money, etc. Recently, they tried to build more contact up, but I was not interested. I won a story writing contest and didn't tell them, nor did I invite them to the celebration. And on the website where you can read my story, the thanks go to my aunt for loving me unconditionally. I didn't invite my parents to my sweet 16 party. Basically, I have cut them out of my life. I am not interested in their lives or families, or anything. Mom tried to meet up for my birthday, but we didn't. She got upset and called me crying and I just didn't care. It was like listening to a TV character cry. It wasn't important. She isn't important to me anymore. Dad called me, and said he was worried about me, and how my reaction is not healthy, and again I didn't care. As far as I am concerned, my aunt is my only parent. She encourages that I build up my relationship to my parents again, but doesn't force me. Anyway, yesterday my parents pulled me out of school and invited me to eat at our old favorite place. Mom had tears in her eyes and even Dad seemed hurt. They tried apologizing for their behavior and pleaded with me to come back, and I just said no and left. I still resent them for choosing a new life over me. But I don't know if I am being a petty a-hole or what to do now. I don't want them in my life, but would I be making the right choice? I don't know. Edit, because people think I just made it up, and I am a moody teen. You know when you are at a friend's house where their parents don't particularly like you, and you feel tense all the time, and you feel like you shouldn't be there? That was the feeling I constantly had at their houses. I know that my stepfather doesn't like me that much. My parents would both fight about who keeps me longer. But not in the sense, I want to have her longer, but, I took her last weekend. It's your turn. Also, planning fun activities for the day after I leave. My father and his wife would often schedule visits to the parks or bigger trips, specifically to the weeks my mother had me, and my mother and her husband would leave me alone at home, so they could go out with the baby. Every chance they got, they would ship me to grandma's or my aunt's place with some excuse, and then do family stuff. Also, when you went through the houses, there were barely any pictures of me. They had big portraits of my siblings in them together, but almost none of mine. They shipped me off to my grandma's and grandpa's for a whole summer and only called twice. When there are family functions, I am often excluded. Like my dad had a family barbecue and didn't invite me. They forgot my birthday on more than one occasion, and when they remembered, they got me a $10 Starbucks gift card, even when they know I don't like Starbucks. So no, they never straight up said it, but they didn't hide it either. Now for the top advice. Your aunt is the real MVP. In terms of forgiving your parents, it's a decision wholly to yourself with your aunt's advice. Trust her advice more than the decisions of strangers on the internet, who do not know the intricacies of this situation. You are 16, trials like these are a part of developing into adulthood. I'm sorry you have to go through an extreme version of this. Have a gold on me for being one of the only rational responses to this post. My compliments to your aunt. She is the best, honestly. Yeah, your aunt sounds great. Sorry your parents are horrible. Sometimes adults are nothing more than teenagers in adult clothing, whining about their wants. You can have your parents in your life as your aunt would suggest, but in the end, it's still up to you. Tell your parents they've put too much hurt into your relationship with them, and that it will take much more effort and time to heal and build back that healthy parent-child relationship. Of course, it's still up to you to build that bridge back up, as you can't build a relationship if one party is not willing. Hope everything goes fine, and show your appreciation to your aunt. And congrats on the writing contest. Your parents made their bed, now they need to lay on it. When people remarry and have kids with other partners, their previous kids don't suddenly stop being their kids. To add on, if you don't want to have a relationship with them, just don't. There's no right or wrong on that one. You felt betrayed and basically a burden. If you do want a relationship with them later on, that's all up to you. Don't feel pressured. Next story. I, 21, found out my whole family was going on a vacation when I was told to look after the family pet. My siblings have yet to move out from our childhood home and I've been off to uni. I am so empty and it feels so goddamn horrible. I've been trying to act like I didn't care, but when they were driving to the airport I couldn't stop crying. My mother was so hurt and they kept saying they loved me. Last time we went to a family vacation was when I was around 13. I cried so much I had cramps in my abdomen. I wrote them a message trying to make them understand what I was feeling, and that it hurt me a lot. I got back that I was ruining the vacation and to just accept it. They said they thought I wanted to be free. I know it might have been an a-hole move to mention this at the first day of their vacation, but the pictures they sent being all happy, made all my emotions I've tried to hide come through. I've never felt this left out, and I feel like I'm not a family member. I'm trapped in this house taking care of an animal when they are out being a family on holiday. I feel heartbroken. My plan right now is to leave the pet with a relative and go back to uni, and dive into school to forget. How can I forgive them? Has this happened to anyone else? Edit, I would have paid for myself. This is not about getting a free vacation, this is about them going away on a family vacation without inviting me. They brought with them my 19-year-old brother who even complained that he'd rather play games at home. They are all there. The whole family. They brought my brother so that it would be a family trip. I would not have batted an eye if only my sister went. Now for the top advice. Did they tell you about the vacation before asking if you can watch the pet or after? After. Have you asked them why you weren't included in the vacation? They thought I had other stuff to do. They also said they really thought I would be so happy being all alone in the house with my significant other. I don't understand why they thought that because we lived together at uni. When I found out about it, they had already booked the tickets and hotel, so I had no chance of even rearranging my summer planning, not that I had anything planned those dates anyway. We have a relative that wanted to care for the pet and could have all these dates. My plan right now is to leave the pet with a relative and go back to uni and dive into school to forget. Good plan. And if other family are around, it makes it a real WTF that Op's family didn't do that in the first place. Sorry Op. My family did similar things when I was your age. I think it came from my mom's deep resentment about my being out of the house and independent. Let me ask, do your parents ever make nasty comments about how you're selfish for going off to college? Do they ever claim that you don't care about them, and then you have to scramble to prove that you're not a bad child for having an independent adult life? When I was a little younger than you, my grandmother, who I was very close to, fell and was hospitalized. They didn't even tell me she was in the hospital and never apologized for keeping me out of the loop because it was my fault for leaving the family by going off to school. My parents have very skewed priorities, and my mom in particular tried to make me dependent on her and shamed me if I seemed too independent in her eyes. Hopefully this doesn't ring a bell for you. But if it does, then they might have excluded you from the vacation as a way of manipulating you into feeling like you're an outsider to the family. If they can succeed in that, then they can make you feel like you need to grovel and beg to be included again. Edit: I am really grateful for everyone who commented and gave me a nuanced perspective. I've come to the conclusion that my emotions are valid and that I need to communicate this to my family peacefully. I'm also really sorry that so many other people have gone through similar situations, and I send all the hugs in the world to you. The feeling of being left out is so freaking awful. Edit 2. I just wanted to say that I've been thinking, and given the number of people who commented that being an adult means that you are not invited to family trips, I believe this is where the miscommunication might have happened. My mother probably did not consider to ask me, because she had the opinion that adult children have their own families, and that I wouldn't be hurt if they didn't ask me. For anyone who reads this and have children, please do not do this. Going off to college does not mean that we suddenly don't need you. Being away from family is hard, and I missed mine a lot. Being invited to a family vacation is an excellent opportunity to spend much needed time together. Please include everyone. You don't lose a family when you gain another. Now for the last story. Update: I'm constantly being reminded that my brother is better than me. Original post. Everyone constantly says that my brother, 28 male, is better than me, 20 male. Parents, cousins, aunts and uncles, teachers, and even my own friends. It's been like that since I was 5, and it's not getting better. My brother never said anything like that, for which I love him so much, but every time I see him, the only thing I see is something I'll never be. And he hasn't even done anything impressive yet. He still lives with our parents. But yeah, because of that, I have zero confidence in me, and I feel like I'll never achieve anything, and I'm not even trying because subconsciously, I know I'll fail. Imagine every day being reminded that someone is better than you and that you'll never be better than them. Every day for 15 years. Most of them say it jokingly, so every time, I try to tell them that I'm not comfortable with it by not laughing, or just look at them the wrong way. The only two people that I know who never said stuff like that are my cousin and my brother. My father even said that sometimes he feels like he loves that cousin more than he loves me and my brother. In front of me. But after he realized how messed up that was, he corrected himself by saying, not more, but close to it. But yeah, I mentally suffer because of that every day, and I have no one to share it with, and I can't just move out and start a new life. I don't know what to do. Now for the top advice before reading the update. My mother is especially horrible about this with me, 32 female, and my older brother, and always has been my entire life. She often comments to people that, daughter is smart, sure, but she has to work hard. Son is naturally brilliant, doesn't have to make an effort. This was last said at my son's birthday party to his friend's mother, who will never even know my brother. So just to take a stab at me. We were at family gathering once and a friend commented on how I had grown into a beautiful woman, and my mother's response was, if you think she's pretty, wait till you see my son. He's beautiful. I relate to this post very much, and I know therapy is thrown around on this sub a lot, but I would be lying if I didn't say therapy helped me overcome so much pain from this type of parenting. I highly recommend it, and I am sending you a hug. I know how painful this can be. You should play the same card when describing parenting roles to other people in front of her. Oh, you think she was a good parent? You should have met my dad. Now that's a role model. Are you no longer living with your parents? Ghost everybody, man. Go cold turkey. You can make it in life. You just need to work hard and go through the pain of growth. There will be times that you feel like you are hopeless and you want to give up. My advice is, do not give up on yourself. Once you reach that point of like everything seems to be crashing down, power through it. Tough it up and overcome those obstacles. You will be a much stronger person after going through those tough times. Mental strength is the best strength a person can have. It gives you stability and increase your awareness and makes you think more rationally. Right now, you are going through a very tough time mentally and emotionally. Power through it, my friend. Concentrate on your own growth and happiness. Read lots of books in your field of interest. Go for long walks or runs. Even better, go biking. Be alone with your thoughts. Meditate. Always psych yourself up. If you are interested, I can message you a link to a YouTube channel I watch that motivates me as a man. I don't know if I can do all these things. I'm in college, so I don't know how I'll survive without their help. And now for the update. First off, thank you everyone. I really needed that motivation to take control. And I'm sorry I didn't reply to everyone, just a lot of things happened. It happened this morning before my dad and brother went to work. My dad said, loosely translated, "Your brother already got a job, when are you going to get one?" And I'm basically occupied with college because I'm mostly studying, and I got annoyed when he said that. And with the confidence you guys gave me, I told him that I'm not comfortable with how everyone is treating me. He said that he was just joking, and that I'm apparently still too young and he can't take me seriously. I basically said screw you, I'm leaving, and went to pack my stuff. He came after me and started pulling me, saying that I'm not going anywhere. I pushed him, and told him that he doesn't get to decide anymore, and he told me if I leave this house, I'm never welcomed again. I continued packing my stuff and he started getting physical and pushing me, so I pushed him back. He made a fist like he's going to punch me, but my brother stopped him, and basically dragged him to the other room, where I could hear them screaming at each other. I packed my stuff and went to a friend because I didn't know where to go. My friend skipped work, so he can be with me in case something happened, still hasn't, and that I can stay with him as much as I have to. That all happened in the span of 3 hours and I'm still shaken. I'll probably get a restraining order, because if he pushes me again, I'll probably hit him. My mom is blowing my phone all day, but I'm not picking up, and I think I'm done with this family. I just hope nothing serious happens. Update 2, I talked with my brother to meet up somewhere so he can give me some documents I needed, and we met. We talked for a bit, but he basically told me that my parents don't want to see me again, and I was okay with it. He told me if I needed something from him to call him, but I don't think I will. I will be staying with my friend until the virus is over and I can find a place. He said he will hook me up for a month or two, until I get my first paycheck, and after that, I'll have to pay. I already found a job, it's not the best and it doesn't pay much, but I can't be choosy right now. I guess my adult life begins. Now for the closing comments. At least you got a supportive brother with you on this new journey. Work hard and be super successful to the point where your entire family regrets putting you down. That's the best revenge. Would love a final update in the near future. Living well is the best revenge. Good luck out there. Call your brother. He wants your success and will help raise you up. Stay in contact with your brother, he didn't do anything wrong. Screw your parents though. You will regret it in the future if you abandon your brother. I promise you. It's not the brother's fault that the parents have deemed him the golden child. Not only that, but he's actively helping OP, and seems to be completely supportive. Hold on to him. I cut and ran when I was 17, with nothing and a baby, to escape the hell of my family. You're going to be alright, man. Edit. I saw that everyone is saying that I should keep in touch with my brother. First off, I'm never leaving my brother. He's my brother and I love him so much. He's one of the people who always supported me no matter what I did, and he is the most important person in my life as of now. When I said that I wasn't going to call him, I meant that I wasn't going to call him if I needed his help. I decided to do things alone and in my own way, but I'll always keep in touch with him no matter what. I also saw that some people say I overreacted. My father literally made a fist and was about to swing, but my brother stopped him. If he wasn't there, things would have been way worse and I needed to leave that place. And I didn't mind getting a job when he said that. I've actually been looking for a good job that I can fit in my schedule, but because of the virus I have not been able to. My father knew that and he was just making fun of it. But thank you everyone. The supportive comments and the critical comments. And that's it for this video guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone. I, 23 female, was violated earlier this year. My boyfriend, 23 male, of 9 years refuses to have intimacy with me and I think he is going to break up with me. This is gonna be a bit long, sorry for that. I, 23 female, met E, 23 male, in the 6th grade when we were both 11 years old. We were best friends since then, really inseparable, practically joined by the hip. We started dating when we were 14 and never stopped. We were the typical teenage couple. We had our fair bit of stupid fights but overall, our relationship was pretty mature given our ages. Eve's family practically adopted me when my parents died when I was 17. My parents died in a car accident and they were estranged for their families so I had no one else to go. His mom loves me and my relationship with the rest of his siblings is pretty good. He has one older brother, 25 male, and 2 younger sisters, 19 and 17 female. I considered his family as my own. They helped me so much since my parents died. They let me move in with them. They paid for my college and rent. I live with E and they pay our rent. They are really supportive of us and his mom have a heart of the size of the entire freaking world, I swear. E is tall, 6'3", absolutely gorgeous, easygoing, funny, really freaking smart. He speaks 5 languages and is attending med school. Everyone likes him. Me on the other hand, I'm pretty common. I would give myself a 7/10 on a good day. Despite all that, he was always jealous and insecure about me. He is absolutely terrified of me cheating on him. His aunt cheated on his uncle who later ended himself. They were really close and that give him some severe mental scars. Given that he was always a bit controlling of me hanging around with male friends and make me promise him that I would never cheat on him 1,000 times. Earlier this year in February, I started spending a bit of more time with my friends and as a result, I wasn't spending much time with him. This started our biggest argument so far. He argued that I was prioritizing my friends, male friends specifically. He tried to make me cut one of my closest friends that he didn't like. I wasn't going to do that and we ended screaming at each other. This led to a day that I was supposed to go to a party with my friends at night. He asked me to not go there because my friend was going to be there. I told him no. Before I left, he told me that he was feeling sick. He told me that he was feeling a headache and a slight fever. He asked me to stay home and order some food and watch a movie with him. We started to argue. He screamed at me and I left. I am going to try to make this short and not graphic. I meet with 3 of my friends there, drink more than I should, got really drunk, went to lay down in one of the rooms in the house that the party was happening, fell asleep, and woke up with my 3 friends violating me. I was able to scream and one girl who was in the bathroom heard me and came to help me. Soon other people started showing up and, in the end, the guys who did it were beaten up, close to death. I was taken to a hospital after that. 2 of the guys are in jail right now and the other was able to dodge prison because he didn't have taken his turn yet. To say that this whole thing messed me up is an understatement. I was diagnosed with depression and PTSD. It was bad, really freaking bad. I started having this panic attacks where I couldn't breathe and the only thing that made me feel better was E. If he was there, I didn't have any panic attacks, but if he leave for more than 30 minutes, now is a bit better. I am able to be away from him for about 7 to 8 hours without feeling terrified. I started to freak out. It was probably one of the few people who were grateful for the lockdown, LOL. A mix of obsessive attachment with anxiety, my therapist said. He was my goddamn hero. He cooked for me, made sure that I was eating, made sure that I was taking my meds, drove me to my therapist and psychiatrist appointments. He started showering with me, because it was the only way that I was comfortable being nude. Don't ask me to explain why. He held me down when I started sobbing at random moments of the day. I used to have night terrors, and the only way to this day I can fall asleep, is with my head on his chest. He's the only person who makes me feel safe. Basically he and his family. His mom helped us a lot. She was the one who delivered groceries to our apartment. Because he couldn't leave or else I started to panic, were the ones responsible for me not ending myself. Our life was pretty good before the incident. We lost our first times to each other when we were 16 and we were each other's firsts and only in everything, even kissing. He has an insane high libido. For him, we could do it 7 times a day and he could keep up for hours, but we normally did once or twice a day and I always blew him at least once a day. He always pressured me a bit for more and was always hurt when I refused, but overall, our bedroom life was pretty healthy. After the thing, he never, ever, mentioned or tried to initiate or any type of thing like that. I started to feel comfortable with kissing him around the end of August, but he only gave me short pecks and he didn't seem to enjoy them. These days, when I tried to give him a more elaborate kiss, he pulls away. In the middle of September, I was finally feeling good enough with myself to have sex again. I put on some fancy lingerie and tried to initiate, but once he saw what I was trying to do, he pulled away. Gave me a kiss on the forehead, said that he was tired and went to sleep. This doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is. Ever since we did it for the first time 7 years ago, he never shot me down when I tried to initiate, not even once. And the longest time that we spent without having sex was 4 days. Before the whole thing, obviously. Every time that I tried to initiate, he always gave me an excuse. He was not in the mood, he was tired, he was busy, and like I said before, he has the libido of a porn star, and I caught him pleasuring before, so that didn't change. My twisted mind thought he was cheating on me, even though that the max time that he spent away from me in these days is for about 4 or 5 hours. So yesterday, I snooped through his phone. Yes, after all the things he has done for me I did this. Yes, I am a horrible girlfriend, and he wasn't cheating on me, but I find out something that I honestly don't know if it's better or worse than cheating. He was talking to his older brother about us. The main facts that I discovered were this. That he blames himself for letting me go to that party. That every time I tried to initiate, the only thing he is able to think is the other 3 guys being inside me, and how wrong the thought of other guys being inside of me made him feel sick. That how our special thing for us was lost. The special thing is that we lost our first to each other and never had us with anyone else. He used to say that in the future he will brag to our future grandchildren about how in the age of hookups we only did it with each other. This may seem dumb, but it was something that he was really proud of, because he is really romantic in that sense, and his parents were each other's onlys and they were pretty much the perfect couple. That before the incident he bought a ring and was going to propose to me, but he feels like he started to see me more like one of his sisters and that the lust that he had for me now feels like fraternal love. His brother responded that he had to suck it up and stay with me at least until I get totally healed. He said to him that he wasn't sure if I was going to heal completely. I read all these things last night Reddit and I really don't know what to do. The thought of not being with him makes me feel terrified. We were supposed to grow old together, he had our whole life planned already, we even discussed baby names. He is absolutely perfect and I don't want to lose him. I have a therapy appointment next Monday, but I don't think I'm able to keep this to myself until then. I'm really desperate here, any advice is really appreciated. Sorry for the long post, I feel like I needed to vent a little. Now for the top advice. Tell him what you saw and talk to him. I am sorry for what you have gone through, and what you will go through, because he is likely on his way out. I had a buddy whose girl went through something quite similar. He was simultaneously angry for failing to protect her, and angry that she put herself in danger despite his request not to go on the skiing trip. They tried couples counseling. It did nothing for them but might for you. I would suggest that he get to therapy as well, to help him process the event. I think it would be compounded if one of these scumbags was the guy her boyfriend asked her to cut contact with. Definitely not her fault, so I hope it didn't sound like I'm implying that. And count me in on the boyfriend getting therapy wagon. It was one of the 3 guys that he didn't like. He is going to therapy since the thing. It's already over. He's waiting for you to get somewhat sane before he leaves. I don't think he can get over the thought of seeing you defiled, and I don't think he can forgive you for going to the party when he told you he was concerned about hanging out with those guys, and for leaving him when he was sick. I hate to break it to you, and I feel terrible about what happened to you, but I don't think he is your boyfriend any longer. He is your caretaker, for a bit. Then, he will be somebody you used to know. Damn, you made me realize something about what's happened to me before. My ex openly cheated on me while I was almost dying. Made me plea not to do it. After the breakup and everything, the person she ran to was violent with her. Nothing can ever change the hurt and I moved on. I helped her for a bit, because I loved her kids a lot, but I was never going to be back with her no matter what. This is a tiny bit of the full story, but yeah, you're right. Sometimes, decisions have unintended permanent consequences. I don't have any advice for you, but I just want to say that I am so sorry this happened to you. Please know that this was not you or your boyfriend's fault, and I hope someone on Reddit can guide you guys in the right direction. Thank you. Now for the last story. I was violated and got pregnant. My 26 female boyfriend, 30 male, is changing his mind about the baby. I won't go into details about the titular incident, but I'll have sole custody of the baby. I'm now about 35 weeks pregnant, so, real 11th hour stuff here. My boyfriend and I have been together nearly 3 years. When we first found out I was pregnant, we hoped that the baby could be his, but a test proved it was not. I was early enough at that point to terminate, and I considered it, but my boyfriend said that he wanted to be there for me and the baby, and that he was ready for this, if I was ready too. I told him to take some time to think it over, and after a few weeks, he told me he was certain that this was what he wanted. Now he's changing his mind. I'm about 95% sure this is related to his family, as he went to see them in person for the first time in months last weekend. He had to tell them about the nature of the conception, as the baby won't look like him. He came back Sunday night. I asked how it went, as he'd been ignoring my texts, but he just said he wanted to go to bed and we'd talk in the morning. Monday morning, there was no talk, and when I went to kiss him, he pulled away. It's now Thursday and our conversation all week has been limited to me asking questions and him giving one-word responses. Then earlier today some baby furniture arrived. I started putting it together. Then my boyfriend came home and I asked him to help. He said, "Your kid, do it yourself." I asked where that came from, as he's been saying this is our baby for months now. He said, "Well, it's not our baby, is it?" I asked if we could talk about this, but he said he has to get some work done and we'll talk in the morning, and then he shut himself in the office. I made dinner, asked him if he'd eat with me, and he said he'd take his meal in the office. I brought it in and asked him if he'd come to bed, and he said he was going to sleep in the office tonight. There's a sofa. I walked past about 20 minutes ago and heard snoring. I am currently alone in bed, about 5 weeks off giving birth, and my boyfriend, who said we could do this together, is sleeping in the next room, and has done a 180 on me since visiting his parents. I don't know what to do. I don't want to pressure him into being a dad if he doesn't want to. My mother didn't want to be a mom and I grew up feeling unloved/unwanted, and that isn't what I want for my kid. But I don't want to lose him, either. I love him, I can see a future with him, but that future has to include this baby, because we are way too late in the game to change that detail. Is there anything I can do? Something I can say to fix it or reassure him or something? Is this more likely to be down to his parents given the timing, or is he just choosing now to say something? Now for the top advice. There's a lot of questions. 1. Have you sought therapy for what happened to you, and or have you two done couples counseling? 2. What was his initial reaction to your ordeal? 3. Are you currently employed? 4. Do you have the funds to raise this baby alone? 5. You also mentioned that your future has to include the baby. Why? 1. I had some therapy at the time. No couples counseling, though I have suggested it. 2. He was worried for me. Made sure I was alright, helped me with the legal case, nearly fought the guy who did it. 3. Yes, but I've had to change workplaces since the incident, so while I'm getting paid maternity leave, I'm earning less than I was and won't be able to take a lot of leave. 4. I do. I make more than my boyfriend does, but not by much, so if I had to, then I could afford to raise this baby alone, but it'd be a lot financially tighter than if I did it with him. 5. I'm 5 weeks off my due date and I love this baby already. So, just to explicitly clear, you wouldn't consider adoption an option at this point? Also, I am so sorry you're going through this. The whole thing. The incident. The pregnancy. The flip-flopping boyfriend. It isn't fair and I hope things work out for you. So, just to explicitly clear, you wouldn't consider adoption an option at this point? No. If I'd decided to adopt my baby out months ago, then maybe that would be an option, but I've spent 8 months bonding with this baby and I love him already. I couldn't give him up at this stage. I'm fairly sure your boyfriend's just started to see what he signed up for. I think he's been on autopilot since your incident, and has been doing his best to support you, even in regards to your kid. Maybe he did at some point think he'd be comfortable raising the kid as his own, but started to see things differently once the days started counting down. His friends and family could have also contributed to his change in stance, since the 180 started after visiting his parents. In all honesty, if that's all it took to convince him that his stance was incorrect, or that it was outside his comfort zone, then he was barely on board with it to begin with. I don't know if he lied back when he said he'd raise the kid, or if things just started to set in. Either way, his decision will probably stick. I don't say that to be cruel, but it takes a special type of guy to do what you're asking. You may already be in love with the kid, but your SO doesn't have that connection. If anything, he'd forever associate the child with your violation, and your violator. I know this isn't what you want to hear, but I think it's good that this is coming out now, and not later when the kids are there. The kid deserves to be raised in a good environment. If your SO doesn't think he can do it, then you pretty much have your answer. If you're both willing and able, I guess you could try your hand at couples counseling. Having a professional therapist in the room may help clarify some things, and sway your SO if possible. If nothing else, you'll finally know his actual stance on the matter, and how he feels about the situation. I'm sorry you're in this position, wish I could offer better advice. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. Turn the notification on to get updated on my latest posts. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.